Great. Okay, so since this is a marketing program, I think we have to be bit more interactive, right? Because marketing is all about, it's a two-way communication, it's not one way. It's in marketing, we do most of the time communications, communicating to consumers. That is what we do in marketing. So this module is about strategic marketing. It's not just marketing, it's about strategic marketing. So there is an additional, it's a prefix strategic to the word marketing, right? So then we have to know about marketing and also strategy part of that, right? So this is a bit of a tricky area. I would say it's not tricky, it's a bit more complex area, the strategy. Marketing, of course, we all know, it's it's not a rocket science. It's very, I would say, is common sense, right? Most of the time, marketing is all about common sense, right? There are some theories, of course, we are going to learn. There are some practical, implications and applications that we are going to learn in marketing. But strategy, it is going to be a bit more complex. I think this is why, um, you know, because of this practical applications of marketing, this is why this has been included in this module. So we will explore, dive into the deep areas in strategic marketing during this course, right? You can stop me at any time if you have any doubt, queries, or clarifications. You can stop me, and I'm happy to clarify. And also, I will have some homeworks for you guys. It's not like the homeworks that we used to do when you were schooling, right? It's beyond that. It's going to be very much practical things that we are going to share. You guys will have to share probably next week, not this week, what you are going to experience during a week time in terms of marketing activities. Like we'll talk about that a little bit more during the day, during these 2 hours. Then I'll clarify the requirement. Okay. Before we start, anything that you want to know about me, I think Priyanka had, you know, done the introduction. Yeah, so I got close to about 20 plus years of experience in sales and marketing both. In a couple of big companies in Sri Lanka. One is Ceylon Biscuits, Manchi, and the other one is Unilever, where I am working at the moment. In Unilever, I have got opportunities to work in different functions, including marketing, sales, and also supply chain. So these are the areas that I have covered. And I've been, doing lecturing for marketing management and also statistics for last 15 years in different institutes. Um, and also I'm a visiting lecturer for marketing in University of Colombo, and I do lecturing in some other institutes as well. Yeah. So about the practical side of the marketing, you can ask me any questions, right? Theoretical side, of course, we know today with the evolvement of AI, any theoretical thing you can learn, right? So we don't want to keep things in mind also with the AI because it's going to further expand, right? Enhanced, right? However, how are we going to practically apply things is what important today, right? Learning is important. More than that, how are you going to apply in practical environment? And what is the result you are going to generate out of that is going to differentiate you from others. Yeah, so that is the important area in our studies in nowadays, right? You will not be able to differentiate yourselves from the knowledge. The reason is knowledge is in your hand now, in your device, right? I hope like all of you have smartphones, all of you have like access to your AI, your avatar, right? So these are the basic things for a human being in today's environment, in modern world, right? So the knowledge is there in your device. How you apply is what distinct you from others. How you apply will distinct you from others is is the pivotal thing for anyone of you and us, right? All right, okay. So let me share my screen to see whether I can share the screen. Okay, before we start, let me get some sort of understanding about your knowledge about marketing, right? Uh, Definitions, as per you, what is marketing? I don't want textbook definitions. You can type, maybe go to Gemini or ChatGPT. You can quickly type and give me the answer, right? So that's not what I'm expecting. As per your understanding, what is marketing, right? So marketing is all about creating awareness, right? Making people aware about your products. Yeah, so it's why most of the time you see advertisements, why marketers spend on advertisements is because they want to create awareness. They want consumers to get familiarized with the product. If they don't know about your product, how are you going to, make a sale? Very simple. Yeah. But marketing is bit more than that. You are there. But it's little more than that. Anyone else can give some add-ons to the answer? Nirosha, yes.
Delivering value to target customer to satisfy their needs
Yeah, so
while
there's
achieving organizational goals.
yeah, so it's bit very much close to the textbook explanations or definitions and Nirosha. But you are right, it's about creating value and giving that satisfactions to consumers, target consumers to fulfill their needs and wants. Yeah. Whilst you are doing that, you are trying to achieve the organizational
Goals.
objectives, organizational, targets, right? So, yeah, of course, yes. But so marketing again, little bit more than that, little bit more than that. You are right, but there is few more things. We'll see, you are creating awareness. You have created the awareness about your product services as much as you can, and also no one in the industry has ever done that, right? So you are leading there in terms of creating awareness. Anyone, if you go ask anyone about toothpaste, your brand comes to the top of the mind. Anyone talks about an MBA program, yeah, your brand name comes to the top of the mind. So creating the awareness, right? Anyone, is asked about a bank, Sampath banks or the commercial banks in Sri Lanka or Emirates Bank in UAE comes to the top. right? So you have created that awareness. But still, you don't have the higher market share, or still you are not growing, or still you are not making money. Have you achieved your company objectives? Have you achieved your marketing tasks? Have you achieved your desired objectives? No, right? After doing all those things, this is to Nirosha's explanations. Like, no, he'll say you are creating consumer value and then fulfilling consumer needs. We'll say the banking facility. You want to transfer money from the UAE to Sri Lanka, right? Go to the bank and do all the documentations part, right? It's not that difficult today. It's not documentations. Now it's like, digital, you can do that, right? Facility has been arranged, right? And you are transferring money. You go to the bank, we'll say Emirates Bank in the UAE, right? But next day, you go to a different bank for the same facility. What happened there? Why Emirates Bank has not given you the desired, sort of, service? Yeah. Take another example, right? You, on daily basis consume things, right? From the morning till you go to the bed, you consume things, right? There are certain brands like, you consume on daily basis and you are not even ready to, switch between brands, right? We'll take perfume, your perfume, right? Um, Just give me a perfume brand, a famous one there in the UAE. Right? Sharon, what's the perfume that you are using? The brand of the perfume.
Versace.
Sorry, come again, please.
Versace.
Well, Shashi, I've not heard about that brand that much, right? Yes, I heard about that. Like, okay, so that's the brand that you are using, right? Have
Yes.
you been using this brand, continuously? Or are you ready to switch whenever, like, you are, will say, running out of stock? If you will say, if it is not there in your household, like, you go buy a different brand, or has it been the brand that you have been using?
Sometimes I would like to change the brand or the version.
Yeah, you are changing the brand based on what?
Uh, of course, the fragrance type. Depend on the fragrance. Yeah.
Type, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how they were lasting. So those things I would like to consider.
All right, good, right? So we'll take another example, like on this fragrance, right? Take the toothpaste that you use. Yeah. So what's the toothpaste you use? Is it Colgate there in the UAE?
For me, Signal is the best.
Okay, you get Signal there in the UAE. I don't think that you get Signal.
Yeah, of course, we do have Signals in UAE.
Okay, how do you get Signal? It's only available in Sri Lanka. It can't be there in the UAE.
But I can prove it to you right now.
Okay. Probably, like, there are some people who are exporting to Dubai, right? But Swiss is a different brand. It's not Signal there, like from Unilever. It has to be like Pepsodent or something, right? Not Signal. Same, brand architecture, but different name. Okay. But so imagine like, if you don't get this brand in the morning in your washroom, if you don't see it, right? What will happen to you, right? Instead of that brand, you have something else, like so your wife or your mother or someone who went to the supermarket, like bought something else, right? But your the the one that you used to is not there. Yeah. So what's gonna happen to you? What do you feel at that moment? Nothing. Okay, you brush from the toothpaste available anyway. Is that what you're going to do? Yeah, probably yes. Yeah, whatever available. Like when you go to we'll say hotel room, like if you don't have, if you have not carried your toothpaste, whatever available, you wouldn't mind, like you use it. Yeah. But so there are people, they have bit of a dissatisfaction when they don't have their brand, their product, right? So I'll give another good example. We'll say a face wash. Nirosha, can you tell me the face wash that you are using? Sorry, it's a marketing lecture. I have to put you all in troubles, right? Put you all in the spotlight. Don't worry about it. Like, no, we are learning. Are you using a face wash, Nirosha?
Yes, I'm using
Yes. Then what's the brand?
Cetaphil.
Cetaphil. Okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me, like, if it is not available in the morning, what will happen to your confidence?
Maybe I will,
You use
without face wash, I
soap?
will wash my face.
You
Yeah.
use soap instead of face wash, is it?
Yes, maybe.
Right. Don't you feel like, dissatisfied?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so you have sort of, deprivations, like, even though you have washed your face, right? Used, cake of soap, right? But still you have sort of, deprivation, right? I'll come to the best example, right? We all use deodorant, right? We all use
Yes.
deodorant, yeah. Imagine situations where your deodorant has run out, right? In the morning, like, after having the wash, like you want to apply your deodorant, it's not there, run out. Yeah. So what's gonna happen to you? Right? You have that, sort of, fear, the deprivation in you. Yeah. Even if you have a different brand, like, you still have that deprivation. You still have the fear factor. You lose your confidence. Right? So what these brands done to you? What these brands created? The brands have created the desire. Brands have created the connection. Brands have created the emotional connection, right? Created the emotional connection, right? So take another example. If you are an iPhone user, if you are wearing a, watch, right? You have so much confidence, right? We'll say you are a Rolex user, right? The wristwatch. Sharon, are you using a Rolex?
No,
Okay, so
I will.
yeah, okay. So we'll say you are a Rolex user, right? Um, so when you are wearing it, you have a sort of, confidence in you, right? It gives you it adds certain level of personality to you, right? Okay, so this personality, this confidence, like, probably others can't see, but you are thinking, having this watched in my, wrist is a confidence builder, is a personality builder. Yeah. So the brands have created this emotional connect with consumers, right? So now I am adding to what you have said about marketing. Marketing is, creating awareness. Marketing is all about, giving sort of, satisfactions to consumers to fulfill their needs, and also, whilst you are doing, like, you try to achieve company's objectives. Yes, it's right, but it's little beyond that. It's all about as to how, you create this emotional connect with consumers for a long period of time. Yeah. So it's not like, one single emotional connect, right? It has to be a persistent emotional connect with consumers. If you create that emotional connect, your consumers will stick to you, right? Your consumers will stick to you. They will continuously come and, purchase, consume your products, give feedback or recommendations to others, suggestions to others, right? When they have, built this emotional connect. This is the beauty of marketing. Yeah. So the textbook definitions is correct. I'm not saying it's not correct. It's correct. But what textbook doesn't give you is, like, what is this extra that marketer is trying to achieve. Certain things cannot be, explained. If you write things, you won't be able to, get the real meaning of it. Like, uh, what is really happening in the practical environment. Yeah. Now you would ask me, like, then what has happened to certain brands? Like, they have created emotional connects. Take brands like Nokia. How many of you have heard about that? Like, all of you would have, heard about it, right? You all know the story. The Nokia, the brand, like, had created so much of emotional connect even to the date with consumers. People who have used a Nokia phone back in the days, even still, they feel it and they love the phone and they love the brand and they love that emotional connect. But business has been sold, collapsed. Today, they are trying many things, but still, they, they were not able to turn things around. Why is that? Even you have done so much of things to build that emotional connect, and it's a very positive emotional connect. But, consumers at the end of the day, like, they have abandoned you. They have rejected you. Why is that? What happened there? Can anyone say? Can anyone, like, give ideas there what had happened to Nokia, right?
They didn't change according to the world.
They didn't change according to the world. Okay, that's, yeah, it's the famous thing. It didn't change. Okay, good. Any different views? Any different views? Why you need a change, Sharon? Why you need a change?
Because the people desires, needs are changing every day.
Desires, needs, like the communication need, you want to communicate to another person, has it been changed? Why you need a change? Sajivani, why you need a change? Sharon, you are right. Like, no, so they have not changed, right? They've not changed, or they've not, up to the pace that the industry is changing, right?
People often choose, let's say, easy things for them. So for that, we need to change.
Yeah, of course, so the convenient matters. Nowadays, you, me, everyone is trying to, get things convenient to you, right? So this is where, like, the world is heading. More the convenient, people, of course, switch to you, right? So this is why Uber is there today. This is why Gojek is there today. This is why all these, like, ride railing, uh, applications, right? Those hailing applications are available today because of the convenient factor. Yeah. Yes, they have not changed. They have done so much of marketing, right? Created value, fulfilled consumer needs continuously, build that emotional connects, but they have not changed. For them to change, they did not have a strategic intent, right? They were doing marketing, but they were not doing strategic marketing, right? They were not doing strategic marketing. This is a beautiful thing, like, so you are doing marketing, but if you've not done strategic marketing, your investment, your effort, everything gone for six, right? Then, so people were starting about or discussing about what, like, strategic marketing. It was there, like, even in 80s, 90s, right? But during 80s and 90s, probably Sharon, you wouldn't have, like, even born, like, at that time, like, 80s, you know, things were bit, predictable, right? So people could predict things, like, when you have a plan, when you do a plan, this plan is going to work, right? But today, that predictability has been challenged. You will not be able to predict tomorrow. Volatility is such, the planning cycle of any organization or any person has been shattered, right? And so that is the challenge that has been posed today for anyone, like, who is in business, in marketing, or in any professions for that matter, right? So what really happened was, like, so there's no sort of, strategic marketing. Yeah, so there's no strategy. Like, why you need a strategy there in that case? right? Or what is the strategy, right? So let's try to understand that. I hope you understood about marketing. Yeah. So all these textbook definitions are correct. I can also give some definitions. That's all right. So I'll share some definitions. But what you want to understand is marketing is all about creating that emotional connect with consumers, right? So it has everything. When you have that positive emotional connect with your brand, with your product, right? Your consumers will purchase you, or your consumers will pay to the value that you're offering, and they will pay again and again repeatedly, and then they will go recommend your brand products to others, right? Because you have created so much of emotional connect, right? So that is what all marketing activities that marketers are doing today is trying to achieve the aim, right? However, even after doing that, so there are companies who fail, like companies Nokia, Kodak, right? As another company. National is another brand failed. National and merge with Panasonic, then it was National Panasonic, and now we have Panasonic. If you take brands like Hitachi, what happened? Yeah, I think still there in the I think UAE you get Hitachi, but in other countries Hitachi is not there, right? Um, so what happened to these companies, right? We still know about the bands, love the bands, and so on and so forth, but their business model has been challenged, and their business no more there for certain companies, right? Because so they did not have the strategy part, right? Okay, so what is a strategy? Now you are going to tell me. Contribute. Here, what is as per your opinion? In your opinion, what is a strategy? Any idea? Yeah, please let me know if you all are clear right now. If not, I feel so I have not done justice. Uh, Sharon, are you clear?
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Sajivani?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay. Nirosha, you're okay, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay. So the strategy. When when you know about the strategy and the marketing, put together strategic marketing, I think that is a good approach, right? Right from the beginning of the module, we learn about these two words. Yeah. So I'm telling you with the practical side, right? So there is I think even for the institute, why they want this module, and also a person who has a practical understanding, because today we want to give you that practical knowledge more than the theoretical knowledge, right? So that is why I'm trying to dig deep and bring a lot of examples when we try to learn about this practical subject. Yeah, right. Okay. Strategy. Any idea?
Plan to reach customers.
Plan to reach customers. Okay. Yeah. Any different views? Add-ons to this? Again, there is no right and right or wrong answers, right? So all your answers going to be correct, right? Don't worry. But let's try to, understand from the practical side. Yeah.
So
Sharon,
proper,
what is, yeah.
proper plan to achieve the goals. Let's say business, if it is a business goals. That's what.
Yeah. The plan,
Yeah.
proper plan to achieve the business objective, business goals, right? Yeah, okay. Right. Rajivani?
Let's say if we have a target to achieve,
Mhm.
the way how we are deciding this is the right way to achieve that target. That is the strategy.
The way that you are going to achieve things, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So you are planning to go somewhere, right? There has to be a way that you go there, right? So that's what you tried to say. Yes, correct, right? Yeah. So that's your strategy. This is where I want to go, right? And this is when I want to be there, and this is how I go there. Yeah. Good, right? So when we were like, teaching marketing or the strategic marketing, the planning, we always say you should know where are you, right? You should also know like, where you want to be, right? And you should know how you are going to get there. And you have to evaluate and say like, how have I achieved? How, um, how did I get to this, destinations or level? Yeah. So even in your personal life, you are doing this. Yeah. Yeah. This is right. I'm not saying like, this is incorrect. This is what like, we are learning in textbooks also. But strategy is bit beyond that. Right? Do you think like, companies like Nokia or Kodak didn't have these sort of, planning cycles, right? Do you think like, senior management that they had like at that time didn't have a long-term thinking where they want, take the organization? No, right? Even these companies like they had very good planners, very good, bunch of people who are best in class. Like, at that time, Nokia, the best in class. Yeah. Companies like, uh, if you can remember the cell phone that we had, right? Link, right? And, what happened to these companies? Like, I think they hired the best cream of the cream people to their organizations. Yeah. Celltel, giants, they are the pioneers, right? Yeah. So they were also doing planning. What have they not done? That is what we should, question. What have they not? Why they fail? Like, what have they not done correctly? So that reminds me the famous quote from the CEO of Nokia. So he said, "We have done nothing wrong," right? In his last speech, like he made this statement: "We as an organization have not done nothing wrong." right? So for him, like, no, so they have been doing perfectly all right. They are achieving their targets continuously. They are growing their business, right? So yes, of course, they have not done anything wrong. But all of a sudden, like, no, business has come to a halt. They collapsed. Yeah. So where they have gone wrong in that case? In their strategy. Yeah. So that is where they go. So strategy could be a long-term thing, like, you know, how you are going to get there, but it has to be relevant. Yeah. It has to be relevant. Relevant to the time, relevant to consumers' changing needs. You are right, Sharon. Right? It has to be relevant with the time, relevant to the changing needs that consumers do have, and also it should outsmart the competition. Imagine had not there been any other organizations who's like, you know, exploring to enter to the telecommunication industry, right? Nokia would have been the king, right? Continuously. But you know, Nokia's strategy had not been outsmarting the competition. Yeah, so they were not doing their research. They were not, they have not identified changing trends in consumer market. They have not identified or they have not changed their technology. Yeah. This is the strategy. Yeah. Strategy is not about like, you know, just planning as to how you are going to get there. No, it has to be like, you know, how you are going to be relevant with the time, be relevant to consumers, changing needs, wants, right, behaviors, and also how you are going to outsmart the competition, right? The competitive advantage. The strategy, good old days, we are talking about strategy has to be 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. No, right? That is not going to work in today's environment. Like, you know, our strategy has to be more dynamic, right? We are talking about long-term strategy. You know, yeah, you can have long-term, like, you know, I'll be a billion-dollar company, right? Something like that, will be growing like, you know, global number one. Yeah, some sort of, you know, vision, all those things fine. But how you are going to, you know, get to that position, you know, has to be like, you know, bit more relevant. The actions should be relevant. Action has to be bit more dynamic, right? You know, you can't, you know, have one single action over and over again, right? And, you know, expecting a different result. So that's not going to happen in today's environment, right? So this is what happened to all these organizations, all these companies, well-known companies. This is what happened. Yeah. So today the strategy is more dynamic. Are you all with me? Any question? Any counter arguments to this? Anyone? Okay, so let me you know give you a different you know sort of you know metaphor this right or a you know different scenario for you to understand it easily. So no, there were two CEOs, right? So they wanted to you know merge their businesses, right? One and two, and you know they thought like you know we should discuss this at length leisurely, and these two CEOs like you know they were having sort of you know habit you know going to the forest or the wild and you know do hiking, and you know they are basically you know nature lovers, right? So then one day they decided, okay, let's go to a forest, and whilst we are, enjoying it, let's try to, discuss about our strategy, right? Merger, how we are going to do the merger. Yeah. So they, packed all their requirements, the bags and everything, and they set off, right? And went to the wood. And while they were, exploring, having discussions, like, all of a sudden, there came a bear, right? You all know this story, like, so, so they were frightened, right? Huge threat for their lives. Yeah. So instantly, one CEO unpacked the bag, and took the running, shoes and also jogging tracks, and quickly, like, he was wearing. Yeah. Then the other guy was asking, like, so I don't think that you are going to beat bear, right? Because this is the forest, you will not be able to beat the bear, right? And definitely you are going to die. Yeah, you will be killed by the bear. But the CEO said, no, I know I'm not going to beat the bear, but I know for sure that I'm going to beat you, right? I can run faster than you. Yeah. So this is what all about strategy, right? Outsmarting the competition, right? You have to be relevant, right? So the situation is where, like, you have to run and anyhow get escaped, right? There are two people, there's a competition where maybe targeting one or two. Where is the change in environment, change in consumer behaviors, right? And how you use your capabilities, competencies to outsmart your competition, right? If there is no competition in that scenario, in that situations, like, of course you are going to collapse, right? Because the bear is going to, catch you, right? So since there's a competition now, you have an opportunity, right? Outsmart, gain that competitive advantage, right? By using your strengths. So this is what had happened, right? So it's all about, how you go achieve your objectives whilst being relevant and outsmarting your competition. That is a strategy. That is a strategy. What happened to Nokia? They have not outsmart the competition, right? They have not been relevant to the changing environment. Yeah. So since you have not, not relevant, and you don't want to outsmart your competitions, like, no, whatever the marketing activities you are trying to do will not work for you, right? So if you have not changed, like, you had analog, competitors are exploring, searching, researching about digital phones, right? So that transformations was happening, was, just around the corner at that time. Consumers were also thinking about the convenience, right? But, so these guys, they were highly, they were highly relying on their product, right? So what they were saying, like, our product, a quality one, right? And gives you consumer, it fulfills the consumer requirement, the needs, right? and there is no requirement for us to change ourselves, right? I don't want to go invest behind huge R&D, right? Because there's no such requirements. Your business is flourishing. But at the end of the day, so they collapsed, right? Then, yes, you have not done anything wrong, but others have done something smart, right? So others, of course, do have their strategy in place, correct, relevant, time-bound strategy, whereas you don't have it. Like, you are, of course, like in a situations like that, your formula is not working for you. Your fusion is not working for you, right? Yeah, so you have not formulated the right strategy. Clear? Understood, guys? So I
Yes.
explained strategy and marketing both, right? So now you have a clear understanding about strategic marketing. Yeah, okay. Let me give you another good example. Like, so this is what happened back in 2008 and 2011. So there's a recession in the world during that time, where like, deflations, like, people, the economies were like, not growing. It's a deflation, right? But even during deflations, there are companies in the world had done really well. There are a couple of companies. One is McDonald's at that time, and the second one is Walmart. So these two companies did extremely well during that time period. Yeah, people were wondering, like, how these two companies doing, so much, so well, even during a recession. In a recession, it's very difficult, like, to grow your business, right? But McDonald's at that time grew by 4%. Like, so they were earning somewhere around $30 billion, right, per annum. Like, they grew it by 4%. It went up to 32, or somewhere around that $1 billion, right? It's a billion business, right? McDonald's. So as Walmart, like, so it grew by good 8-10%, right? So how have they done that? It's not like, so consumers, had so much of money. No, precision, like, so they didn't have money. But these two companies had done extremely well because they had strategies more relevant to the, changing environment, strategies which, like, which were, time bound, right? And outsmart in competition. So that's the formula which worked for them. So the McDonald's at that time, like, they decided, so I'm going to expand my operations. Yeah, expand it to other markets, and also spend a lot of time, money in terms of reviving or relaunching their brand, right? All their outlets went through a sort of, relaunch. It's a huge investment. They, some people were saying, like, it's a risk. It's a huge risk. Like, during a recession, you should not spend money. You have to, cut down the cost reductions. Like, they went ahead. They went rather against that. Yeah. So invested huge amount of money behind the brand. Introduced many different varieties of products to their menu, right? And also did bit of adaptations in countries they have, extended their operations. And also they introduced the franchise operations to many markets in the world, right? All these strategies helped them immensely to achieve their growth during that time. Yeah. So as Walmart, like, so the supermarket chain, thinking like, people will cut down drastically, right? However, they were able to get the attention, increase the footfall into supermarkets, yeah, and also they were able to increase the basket value of people, right? Normally, during a recession, people cut down things, reduce their expenditure, yeah. But so Walmart, did it so nicely, and they increased the basket value, right? Not only that, they you know gain the growth by extending, by opening up new outlets, but also like they were able to increase their footfall in the same outlet growth had also been equivalently equal to the total growth that they had obtained, like about 4-5% McDonald's, right? So ultimately, what gives us as a the learning here is like your strategy, how relevant you are going to be, right, during that particular period, right? So I'll give you some local example from Sri Lanka. During the economic crisis, right? Some of you would have got that experience had you been in Sri Lanka during that time period. Like so our prices went, it was like skyrocketing, right? Dollar rate went up, and electricity was also going up, right? um I think like most of the people could not bear. Yeah. So imagine a situation like that. People, of course, very much cautious about their expenditure, right? They don't want to spend, especially on unnecessary things, right? White good, people don't spend, right? Basic necessities that you need, like you are trying to fulfill. Yeah, so that is what you do, right? Basically, yeah. However, during that period, a white good, right? So that is, of course, I am taking Unilever as an example there, right? So the Pureit that we used to sell is a water purification system, right? Bit expensive, like it's 4 times higher than pre-crisis, right? And our sales volume grew by 400%, right? The number of units that we sold, like went by 400%, right? Imagine a situation like that. You are generating a volume 400% increase, right, on white good product. It's a massive achievement. It's a massive achievement. How this had happened? Relevant strategy. Relevant strategy. The strategy was like, you are making yourself relevant. Like, you talk to consumers. The grievance that the consumer at that time is the utility bill, right? And you are, spending so much of time, money on electricity in terms of like, getting your, or, boiling your water, right? One is like you are using electricity, if you are using a heater, or maybe gas if you are using gas stove, right? So the solution is like don't spend on those things. You can cut down the cost, right? So we started like talking to consumers, giving them this value like you spend your your utility bill can come down by X percentage, right? And so we saw the sales is increasing massively. Yeah. So be relevant. Be relevant, outsmart the competitions. Like, so at that time, what I heard is like, all the other purification systems, like, the sales, the flam, and they will not be able to do their sales properly. Like, so your strategy is relevant to the situation. And also you understood the consumer's agony. Yeah. All right. Right. Okay. So I think like I have explained everything. Now we'll go through the stuff like the theory part, right? I will glance through. I'm not going to explain everything. Yeah. Basically, the idea that I have explained is what is included in any introductory chapter, right? But so I went beyond and gave you a lot of examples about strategic marketing and the strategic marketing. So this is what so you as a strategic marketeer has to do, right? If you are planning to build your own brand or your own company, you have to think, keep in mind, it's about consistently creating that emotional connect with consumers whilst you are achieving your company's objectives and outsmarting your competitions, right? And be relevant to the situations, right? So that is very simple statement. Be relevant, outsmart competition, and you have to always create that emotional bond, the connect with your consumers. Yeah. If you have these three things right, and you will have a sustainable business, right? You have a sustainable business. Unlike Nokia, like only a small time period. After that you collapse. No, you have to have this sustainable business. Some businesses, about 200 years old. Coca-Cola, right? The business is about 200 years old, right? Um, there are brands like no more than 200 years old, right? There are brands in Sri Lanka also 50 years, 20 years, 30 years old, right? But there are brands like, so they have just come and next day you don't see that brand, right? Because they were not being able to create that value, create that emotional connect with consumers, right? Okay. So marketing, yes, as I explained, it is like how you understand the consumer needs, wants, right? And you try to satisfy them, or delight consumers, right? Whilst you are achieving your organizational objectives, which is like profit, and make sure that you comply with the environmental needs, right? Societal needs, right? Because you want to achieve a sustainable, you want to have a sustainable business, right? So when you are doing that, you need to have a sort of market orientation, or rather marketing orientations than a product orientations, right? So we learn about that. What are these orientations, right? So we'll go to that slide and talk about this. So the role of marketing is, of course, satisfy customer needs and wants and build customer relationship, right? So this is where I explain is the emotional connect that you are trying to create with your customers, right? It's not with all your customers, right? You don't want, rather all, everyone in the world, everyone in your geography. It's not like that. It is with your relevant customers, with your relevant customers. We call them your target market, right? So if you have that emotional connect with your target markets, that's more than enough, right? Not with everyone. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is, I think I have shared this with you. You can refer. All right. So the concept of marketing, the process by which, right, the companies create value for customers and build strong customer relationships in order to capture the value from customers in return. Yeah. That is, what you are capturing from consumers is the value, is what, they are paying you. That is, the company's expectations, right? The business expectations, the making profit. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Basic concepts, needs, wants, and demands, right? So when you have needs and wants, right, it will definitely create demands, right? You add there, like, the money part, the purchasing power, right? Then you create the demand, right? Even though you have needs, even though you have wants, if you don't have money, you don't create the demand. Yeah, you know this very well, right? I have a need, right? I want to buy a Mercedes Benz is my need. Yeah, or is my want, rather, right? Need is like, buying a car because it will help me conveniently travel from one locations to another locations. But my want is to, buy a Mercedes Benz, right? But I can't do that. So why I can't do it? Right now, I don't have adequate fund for that. Yeah, so then I will not be able to, you know, create demand or have a demand for it. Yeah. So needs, wants, demands, right? When you have all these three things, there are, companies, brands, suppliers who are there to meet that demand, right? So how you are going to meet that demand is creating transactions, right? That is what. So there are so many people who are going to meet that demand, not only you, right? Since there are many people, we need marketing, right? If there's only one person, we don't need marketing that much, right? It's only the awareness you need to create. So you don't need, strategic marketing at all. Like, if there's one person, right? Imagine, like, Sri Lanka will say electricity, right? So there's only one supplier, Ceylon Electricity Board, right? If there are multiple suppliers, then even electricity board will have to think about strategic marketing, right? Since there is only one supplier, the consumers have no option but go with them, right? So then you don't need to do strategic marketing, but you have to do some sort of, marketing um, to, create awareness, create that emotional connect. Yeah. So, you have to do a little bit of marketing there. Yeah. Okay. Right. I'm not going to, discuss these things. These are very basic, like, so I just wanted to give you a glimpse of idea about marketing and basic, right? Before we talk about real strategy. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what we offer in marketing is like, yes, products, the services, these what we offer, right? But in marketing or in our businesses, there's something we all do wrong, right? That is called the definitions or defining your business. We do it bit wrong, right? If you define your business narrowly, you are confining your business to a small area. Yeah, you are not achieving the true potential of your business, right? That is what we call marketing myopia. This is marketing myopia. This term was introduced by a person called Theodore Levitt, right? In 1960, she published in Harvard Business Review or a paper, right? Talking about marketing myopia, right? Marketing myopia is a very simple thing. It's not a big, concept, right? It describes a short-sighted and inward-looking approach to marketing that focuses on the needs of the company, right? So inward looking means more towards the organization, right? More towards the organization, not thinking about your consumer, the customer, right? When you are focusing your organization inward looking, you are only thinking about how you are going to sell your product, right? You are thinking about your product only. Yeah? You are not thinking about how you are going to help consumers to solve their problems, right? So that is what we call marketing myopia, right? Inward looking, narrow view about your organization, your business, your offering is called marketing myopia. So this has happened to Nokia also to a great extent. Good old days, so the Ford, the company, the Ford is a car manufacturing company, right? So they were also very much inward looking. So they were thinking when your product is superior, consumers would, come running and continuously purchasing your product, right? So they were saying, the Ford was saying, if the car, as long as it's black, people will buy, right? And, they didn't know without their knowledge, consumers were moving out from Ford and, buying from, other companies, right? Toyota, so on and so forth, right? So it's not about it's not only about your product. You have to think about how consumers are changing, right? You have to think about how you are going to be relevant to consumers most of the time, right? And your definitions of your business has to be more wider than just thinking about what you only give to your consumers, right? So for example, uh, yeah, so let me give you an example for this. Okay, Lexmark, right? It's a printing product, right? So the copier, right? So they were initially defining their business as printing. Yeah, so they were into a printing business. But later on, they realized, okay, this is not what I am giving, right? So what consumers trying to fulfill or solve is, is a business requirement, right? So then they have changed their definitions from copy or the printing business to business solutions business, right? Lexmark is giving business solutions. It's a bit more wide, right? It's more wide, right? Rather than like just inward looking, thinking only about your product, right? You are giving a wider definitions to your business is what you call marketing, in my opinion, right? Okay, right. Okay, so this some of the example, right? Okay, so this Xerox is the one what I was talking about. So they were in copying equipment business, right? Change, we help improve the productivity, right? So help improve the productivity of the office, right? So if you take this one, the carrier, right? We make air conditioners, but we provide climate, uh, you know, cool climate in the home, right? So that's what you are giving, right? So how you are changing your definitions, and consumers will also think like, they are relevant for me, right? They are relevant for me. Now, more, I think like, most of the companies, they have realized the mistakes they had done in the past. Now they've changed, right? Even new companies, they define their business really well. Yeah. Startups, right? Okay. Two questions for marketers. What markets will we serve? How can we serve these customers best, right? Always, these are the main questions that we do ask, right? We have to ask as marketers, like, what markets will we serve, right? What are the markets we are serving? And how can we serve these customers best? Again, right? Best in the sense like, you have to, there is a competition, right? You have to outsmart the competitions, right? How am I going to do that? So these are the two questions we ask. Okay, a question that we need to discuss. Why is it important to a marketer to decide which customers they will serve? Right. Now you are going to ask. You are going to answer rather, right? Why is it important to a marketer to decide which customer they will serve? Why do we always think like, which customer we should serve? Well, why don't we like, say like, we are going to serve all the customers? Why aren't we doing it? Anyone?
When it comes to a product, a customer will buy when they have a need. So we have to find the people who has the need, and we do market to them. So if we market to a wide range who doesn't have the need, our benefits will not be how we expect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you will not be able to achieve the company's objective if you try to, target a wide audience, right? Or target consumers who don't have a need. Yeah. So you're absolutely right. Spot on. Yeah. On the other hand, so you have a limited resources. You don't have unlimited resources, right? Do you? No, you don't have. So you have to, utilize or maximize the resources that you have and gain the maximum benefit for the organization. We do so the marketers always have the luxury in terms of spending money, right? They are the people who have who got money to spend. right? But they also have the responsibility to generate demand for the products. If they don't demand the products, rather generate demands for the products, they will not be able to unlock money, right? Or how do they fuel the growth, right? When you have more sales, more profit, you will have more money to invest behind your products, brands. If you don't have that, you will not be able to invest, right? So it's a give and take theory. You give, you get, right? If you don't give, you won't get, right? If you won't get, you won't give. Yeah, same thing, right? So why is it important to a marketer to decide which customer they will serve? Because customers are different, right? We don't get same type of customers every day, every market. Yeah. So the customers, we have diverse set of customers. From person to person, people are different. Even though they have similar needs, they are different. They are different in terms of their behaviors. They are different in terms of their psychological factors. They are different in terms of their geographical factors, demographical factors, right? And also occasional factors. They are different. Yeah. So if you try to target everyone, meaning you are throwing thousands of stones, thinking at least one or two stones will go fall on to few customers. Well, some people, right? But it's a waste. Why do you want to throw 1,000 stones, right? You don't want to do that, right? If you really want two people to come and buy my products, then you have to target only two people. Yeah. If you really want 100 people to come and buy my products, so I have to target only 100 people. Yeah. So this is what you as a marketer has to decide, right? If you are trying to do a startup, you need to decide the target audience, your target group, who are you going to service to, who are the people who are going to buy my products, right? It's a very, very good questions to ask yourself and answer as a marketer, right? So this is where in marketing, we have a concept called segmentation, targeting, and positioning. Those are things that we are going to learn. Segmentation, targeting, and positioning. How we are going to segment our market. And also, how am I going to, target my consumers who are my target group? And how am I going to, position my products, my brand, my company to this target group? Yeah. Okay. So the orientations, there are 5 orientations, right? This is what I'm going to ask you, you are going to present next week, right? Production concept, selling concept, marketing concept, and so societal marketing concepts, right? So since we have 1, 2, 3, 4 here, right? 3. How many? 3, no? Okay. So you are going to select a topic. Okay. So who's going to do the production concept? It's just 5 minutes you have to explain, and I can allocate 15 minutes. Yeah. Okay, we have Nirosha, Sajivani, and Sharon. Okay. Wait. Okay. Sharon, what was you are going to select?
I will choose marketing concept and
Marketing concept. Okay.
and social marketing concept as well.
Okay. So last two you're going to select. Sajivani and Nirosha. Sajid, can you do production concept and the product concept both?
Okay, okay.
All right. Okay. Then the selling concept, Nirosha. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So what you are going to do is like, you just learn about these concepts, right? If you can, prepare one slide, you can, do a, small presentations about marketing orientation, right? Sounds good? Align?
Yes, sir.
All
Yes.
right. Okay. Next week, like, we'll start with that. Okay.
Okay,
Right.
sir.
So I'm not going to discuss this since you are going to discuss, right? Next week. All right. So, yes, we have different orientations in marketing. Yeah, it's all about like, how you are going to create value, connect with consumers, and define your business in a broader way and create that demand for your products, brands, select the right market for you, right? And go market your product. But it's not that easy also to market your products, right? When you are marketing your products, there are four main things or a key fundamental that you need to always keep in mind. That's what we call 4Ps in marketing, right? This is very famous in marketing. Like, we talk about 4Ps, right? Price, place, promotion, and product. You all have you all heard about this? Yes, right? No? Okay, so let me explain. Like, there are 4Ps in marketing, or in marketing concept. We always talk about 4Ps. Right? This is a fundamental in marketing. This is fundamental in marketing. Yeah. This is a price, place, promotion, and product. Very simple. So the price is for any product, or I'll just start with the product, right? Product is, now you have decided the target group that you are going to sell, yeah, that you are going to focus. There is a target group, right? Based on geographic, demographic, psychographic, criteria, you are selecting a group and you understand their requirement and you create your product. So that is a product. Yeah. And you are going to set a price for that product. That is a price, right? So when you are setting the price, you have to always think about the purchasing ability of the target group based on their requirement, like, what features should be added to the product and how much they are willing to pay for that product, the concept that you have, right? So that is what you call price. Place is where you are going to make yourself available for consumers to come and purchase you, or consumers to come and get your service, or how you are going to distribute your products in a FMCG market or even white good market, like, how you make yourself closer to your consumers, right? And promotions, that P is like, all about how you are going to communicate to your consumers about your product, right? No point just having a product and also set a price and making sure it's available in most of the places without promotions, right? People should get to know about your products. So this is what I'm going to offer you. This is how I am differentiated my products, right? So that has to be clearly communicated to your consumers, right? But so in marketing or strategic marketing, these 4 P's has to be properly integrated, right? Yes, this is very simple concept. Yeah, creating a product like very simple. Today, if you want to create a product like you can go give it to AI. I want to create, AI will give you the process. You can create a product, a concept, service, or anything you can do very easy. And setting a price is also very simple. You just set a price. Yeah. And the placement, where you are going to place this product, how you are going to distribute, you can decide. Yeah. And the promotions, you can do TV, you can go digital, social media marketing, content marketing, like search engine optimizations, all those things you will be able to do. Right? There's no issue. But how you are going to do this with an integrated manner is what is important, right? That is the challenge you have. Yeah. Okay. So how before I explain like so how we are going to do with some examples, how we are going to integrate 4 P's. I just wanted to ask like your knowledge, understanding about 4 P's, like have you learned this before, or do you want me to take you all through this price, place, promo and product at length, right? What do you want? Because this is strategic marketing, so we are just touching the marketing concept, like we have to come to the strategy part, that is the core of this module. Yeah. Have like Sharon, have you learn about 4 P's in marketing?
No, sir. No idea.
Right. Nirosha and Sajeevan,
Actually, I did because I did business administration degree in Open University, but it was incompleted. On my second year for marketing, this was covered.
Okay. Right. I think so let me I will add few more slides, right? Maybe tomorrow I will take you all through this, right? However, so let me give you one example, then you will be able to understand it thoroughly. Yeah. Okay. So let me take a very a brand very much closer to all of us, like so Sri Lankan. I'll take Munchie cream cracker, right? You all know about that, right? The biscuit, right? Okay, so the Munchie cream cracker, the biscuit, right? So how they are applying these 4 P's in marketing is what I'm going to explain, yeah? And how they have integrated things. More importantly is what you want to know, the product, right? So the product is, it's very much is a very simple cracker biscuit, right? Why a cracker biscuits? Because they have identified the consumers do have a need to fulfill their, small hunger, right? Maybe a brunch, maybe like, light, a snack, right? So it's a need that consumers do have. To fulfill that needs, the cracker, the biscuit is an ideal solutions that they have identified, right? So for the product, like, so yes, the core product is a biscuit, the cracker, and they made it bit crunchy and also burned to the perfect level, and they have come up with a nice packaging where from the manufacturing to the end consumers, there is a process. It will take time also. The crunchiness, the freshness, everything should be preserved, right? So therefore they have come up with a nice pouch package, right? So this is, and also it comes with different sizes, right? Depending on the consumer behavior, the requirement. Like, some people, they just want to, put it to their, the pocket, the purse that they carry, or a bag, right? Because, they get this small, snack craving, like, during the day, right? Whilst they are traveling, right? For an emergency purpose, they need a sort of, small size packet of biscuits, right? So that is what they have identified. Then, you made like 100 gram or the 50 gram one. And there are people like, so they buy in bulk, like, they want to keep some at home, right? To be consumed every day, evening as a snack, right? So that's one. And you have a little, bigger size, maybe about 200 gram or something, right? There are some people like, so they really want to, give this as a gift to some of the people. Like, I will say, when you are visiting a patient, you are, it's a bit occasional requirement, right? So take a packet of, cream cracker with you, and it's a gifting purpose. So, sort of, for that moment you need that, yeah. So you have maybe a bit 500 gram, yeah. So likewise, you decided, okay, based on your target group, their requirements, their consumer consumption habits, consumption behaviors, like, so you have decided your sizes, right? So what sort of, grammage that you want, right? So nicely done, and packaging nicely done. And for the distribution purpose, so you need corrugated carton boxes. So your product is that. So that is basically the product concept. So you have your core product, and you are adding certain values to the product, like packaging, the color, and all those things to the products. That is augmented products, right? So those are, this is what, consumers do see as the final product, right? So the Munchie cream cracker. The price, right? So since this is a snack or a small hunger, busting thing, right? So consumers don't want to spend that much of time, rather money for this, right? So then you are setting the price, like, taking consumers, ability to pay and willingness to pay, and you are setting the price, right? It's not a skimming price or a high price product. Is, since it's a very basic requirement, is a penetrated price that you have to always set, yeah. So the profit margin would be like, very much lower, because this is not a high price products like, Mercedes-Benz or a Rolex or a Crosspen, like that. Is a basic requirements. And profit margin would be somewhere around, net profit margin may be about 5-6%, the gross profit margin less than 30%, right? That is how you set the price. And when you are setting the price here, you have to always consider how competitors are doing, right? What are their prices, right? All those things you need to take into considerations when you are setting the price. You can't just, if you are the only player in the market, then you can, of course, target a higher profitability, right? And set a bit of a higher price. However, in this market is highly competitive market, fragmented market, and also proliferations of brands are there already in the marketplace, and you have to always have a competitive pricing strategy. So that is the price that you. On top of that, you can think about some, sort of, introductory prices, or maybe price discount prices, yeah, in your pricing strategy, depending on what competitors are doing, depending on the relevance that you want to maintain, you can decide the price. So this is what you call setting the price concept, right? Then the place, for a basic products like or a cream cracker, very basic, right? You can't do much differentiation, and people, when they have the need, they just want to go buy it, right? And they don't want to wait for days to reach these products to you, right? So in that case, the place has to be very much convenient. In every shop outlets or every supermarket, this has to be made available, right? So your place strategy is widely available, right? It's extensive distributions, not confined to one few shops. It has to be made available in everywhere, right? We'll say if you want to buy a packet of cream cracker, you won't drive from Kataragam to Colombo to buy that, right? You will go to the nearby shop and buy it. It has to be in your close proximity. Yeah. So your distribution strategy, placement strategy has to be widely distributed, widely available in the market that you are operating in. Yeah. And the promotion strategy is so it has to be like you are targeting everyone in Sri Lanka, then you have to, it's a very, very basic product. There's so much of competition also for this product, and you have to think about creating awareness, think about advertising, the traditional advertising, like TV, radio, and newspapers. Also, you have to think about digital media, social media, marketing, all those advertising strategies you have to think about, right? Even when you are, we'll say TV advertisements, you should reach a maximum audience, right? So what are the TV programs that most of the consumers watch? Then those are the TV programs you will have to target when you are deciding on the TV stations and the programs on which that you are going to place your advertisements, right? So these are the kind of promotions, promo strategies you have to consider when you are trying to market a product like cream cracker, Munch cream cracker, right? So just imagine so you have price, product and place, but you are not advertised. You have advertised maybe in a magazine, business magazine. Is it relevant? No, it's not relevant, right? Because it's a basic product. Then you have to target always a mass media. Go heavy on mass media, targeting a maximum reach, right? So when you do something like that, you are integrating your piece properly. Right? But you know, what I have explained is about how you are going to integrate your piece for a product like Munchie cream cracker or biscuit is a basic necessity. But the same mix you will not be able to adapt or adopt to, we'll say, the Mercedes-Benz, right? Or maybe a Rolex watch, right? If you go make Rolex watch available in all the outlets in Sri Lanka, I think consumers won't even think about buying it. Right? It has to be available in exclusive places. If you happen to set a low price to a Rolex watch, do you think consumers do buy it? No, they will think about this is a fake product. Yeah. And if you promote, have you ever seen a Rolex advertisements in any of our TV channels? No, right? There are different ways that they promote magazines, business magazines, email marketing, right? Billboards, right? So those are the sort of media they've selected, right? It's completely a different from the mix that Munchie has for products, right? So as if you take Mercedes-Benz, it's completely a different mix, right? If you take certain white goods, you have different mix, right? So integration means how you are going to use 4Ps with the target audience that you have and the product offerings that you have, right? It has to be relevant, right? Otherwise, you are just spending money. There is no return. There's no return. So you can't do like that in strategic marketing. You have to always generate value, right? You can't just spend money. Then your stakeholders or the shareholders will always question how much, why you have just spent you have spent this much of money for a no return. Yeah, so that is a no-go. You can't do like that. You have always think about how you are generating shareholder value. Okay, so this is what all about how you are going to integrate your marketing mix. Yeah. All right. So guys, it's time's up, right? So I'm going to stop share. I have already shared these lecture materials with the institute. I think you can log in and or maybe you would have already received. I will share with you all a few more things for you to read some documents, some articles. Then you can expand your knowledge. In the meantime, try to get hold on to a book or maybe ebook, right? To read more about marketing, read more about some of the examples, so then you will have a better understanding about the concepts, practical side of marketing. Yeah. Okay, so I can take questions if you have before we wind up. If not, we can wind up for the day and connect tomorrow. Any question, guys? Are we good?
Actually, it's not a question, sir. If you can guide us to refer the books, because there are a lot of books if you Google with the subject. If you can refer something which is good for us to read, it would
Okay,
be.
so if you want to understand about basics or the fundamentals in marketing, you can always refer Kotler Armstrong and Kotler, the principles of marketing. Yeah. So that's what I recommend you all to know about, get to know about marketing, right? If you want to learn more about strategic marketing, but this book is a bit expensive, right? Even the PDF is not available, right? This book is yeah. Let me tell you about this one a bit expensive. It is Strategic Marketing Management by Alexander Chernow, right? Alexander Cherneb, right? So this one, like, so use in mostly, like, for MBA courses we use this book. It's a bit more, like, expensive one. And also, if you can learn about Blue Ocean strategy, it's available. Blue Ocean, like, if you just type internet, you should be able to download some articles, right? So those are the few books that I can recommend you. But don't worry, like, so whatever, like, you type internets and or from AI, whatever you are learning, that's more than enough. Like, so I'll take you all through step by step, like, about strategic marketing. But basic marketing, the Philip Kotler, Armstrong, the principles of marketing, is a book that I would recommend. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else, like, anything be clarified? No. Right. Okay. So then we can conclude the sessions for the day. It's that. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for joining. So have a good evening. Thank you. Bye bye.